Welcome back, everyone. The iPhone 13 Pro ended up actually just coming out, so let's go and compare it against the iPhone 8 and see which one you should go and pick up for the money. Now, if you have all the money in the world, the 13 Pro definitely the better phone in pretty much every single area, but the iPhone 8 is still a pretty good phone, I guess, in some ways, but it's definitely not the one I would recommend. If you want to pick up the iPhone 13 Pro or any other iPhones I'd recommend this year, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can definitely see a little bit of a major difference between them. The iPhone 8 had a 4.7-inch IPS panel on the front, home button, a lot of bezel around it. The 13 Pro, on the other hand, notch design, but bigger 6.1-inch OLED panel, but also it actually has a 120 Hz ProMotion display. So that by far, I mean, it's like not even a fair comparison. The 13 Pro definitely dominates the iPhone 8 when it comes down to the front panels. In terms of thinness and thickness between the two, you can see the iPhone 8 is actually fairly thin. The iPhone 8 was one of the thinnest, I don't think it's the thinnest, but it was a very, very thin iPhone when it first came out, and it still completely is very thin. But with the thickness of the 13 Pro, it brings a lot of capability, including a much bigger battery. And on the back, glass backs on both, a cracked glass back on the iPhone 8, but you do have a frosted glass back on my iPhone 13 Pro, which literally looks so beautiful. I'm a huge fan of the 13 Pro for sure. Triple camera setup with a LiDAR sensor on the 13 Pro. The iPhone 8 has a single camera setup right there, flash on both, and you do have wireless charging on both, MagSafe capability on the iPhone 13 Pro. And definitely when it comes down to it, the iPhone 13 Pro feels much more premium than the iPhone 8. And that is one of the biggest things to keep in mind when you get a phone like an iPhone 8. You're getting a really good phone still, the build quality is great, but it is a little bit dated and the battery life isn't as good or nearly even as close to the iPhone 13 Pros. Even though this one is more powerful, bigger display, ProMotion, all that stuff, the battery life on the 13 Pro is definitely far better than the battery life on the iPhone 8. Now, in terms of longevity, a big thing to keep in mind is that the iPhone 8, first of all, came out in 2017 actually, 2017. So it's a little bit more older. It's quite a bit older than the iPhone 13 Pro. I still think this phone is going to get maybe 2 more versions of software, maybe 3 if we're lucky, if it matches the iPhone XS, but we'll see how it goes. I think this one may end off with maybe like iOS 17 or iOS 18. With the iPhone 13 Pro, it's literally just getting started. This thing just got its first update with iOS 15, and it's probably going to be here for many, many more years after. So if you're trying to figure out the perfect upgrade, I think the iPhone 8 to a 13 Pro is a solid upgrade for sure. You're getting a much better phone, way better capability, all that good stuff, and it's definitely one of my favorite reasons to recommend the 13 Pro over the iPhone 8 for sure. So in terms of that covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both these phones. Now the iPhone 8 has that Apple A11 bionic chip inside of it with 2 GB of RAM, where the iPhone 13 Pro has that Apple A15 bionic chip inside of it with 6 GB of RAM. So let's go and see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, a little bit darker than I thought, but it's totally okay. Let's go and hop out all the apps as you guys can see. So let's get into it. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. Totally butchered that one up. I don't know what's going on here. Let's try music, 3, 2, 1. And I actually don't know what just happened. I think the 13 Pro, I actually don't know. So the 13 Pro ended up loading this one up faster. The iPhone 8 was a little bit behind. Nothing super crazy. Hopping out of this one, we can go into their app stores. 3, 2, 1. I thought I clicked it here, but I didn't. And I can see a pretty big difference in terms of display. The iPhone 8 actually looked a little bit faster there, which does not make any sense to me. Scrolling through, definitely do think the 13 Pro seems smoother, but the iPhone 8 was faster there, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Clock, 3, 2, 1. I think the 13 Pro is faster there. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into news, 3, 2, 1. 13 Pro faster. iPhone 8 definitely a little bit behind. I don't know if it's going to load into this, and it looks like it didn't. So definitely faster on the iPhone 13 Pro there. Let's go into stocks, 3, 2, 1. And I don't get how in the beginning with the iPhone 8 beat the iPhone 13 Pro right there. That made absolutely no sense to me. This one did load into that one thing right there. We can do their cameras, 3, 2, 1. Pretty much the same thing. We can try taking a photo, but this one is on night mode, so we'll just kind of stop this one. Hopping out of this one. As always, we have a bunch of these third-party applications we can go and test out between them. So let's get into it. Let's try to get into Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And you can definitely see, I mean, there's a pretty big difference between these two when it comes down to the speed. First, it looked like the iPhone 8 was beating it, but now it actually looks like the iPhone 13 Pro is dominating the iPhone 8. There's a really big difference, and it's even glitching up a little bit on the iPhone 8, which is pretty interesting. So that one was a pretty big difference right there. Hopping out of this specific one, let's go into Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And a little bit of a delay when I click on the app, and definitely a noticeable delay after when you actually click on it. So the 13 Pro wins again. We can do Twitter, 3, 2, 1. And again, 13 Pro is the winning one. The iPhone 8 a little bit behind. Quizlet 3, 2, 1. And again, the 13 Pro is far ahead of the iPhone 8. That one took a long time on the iPhone 8. I don't know what's going on with that phone. We can try Snake vs. Blocks 3, 2, 1. And again, there we go. iPhone 13 Pro is faster. iPhone 8, definitely a little bit behind. Nothing completely wrong with that, but it's okay. Snapchat 3, 2, 1. Again, iPhone 13 Pro is much faster than the iPhone 8. Stack 3, 2, 1. And again, the 13 Pro is a faster one. The iPhone 8 definitely behind there. Hopping out of this one, let's go and get into Fruit Ninja 3, 2, 1. And it kind of looks like to me again that the 13 Pro is the faster one. And the iPhone 8 again was a little bit slower. And again, nothing wrong with that. I'm totally okay with that. Let's go and kind of end off with maybe the original Temple Run 3, 2, 1. Although I don't think it's going to be that big of a difference. I think it's going to be roughly the same thing we've been seeing. So what I will definitely tell you is that the iPhone 13 Pro is definitely a far faster machine than the iPhone 8. I mean, at first it kind of looked a little different, but after all the apps started being loaded up and everything, it definitely looks like the iPhone 13 Pro is a much faster phone than the iPhone 8 for sure. So in terms of that covers it up here. Now let's go and hit on the cameras. Now, like I kind of mentioned, triple camera setup on the back of the iPhone 13 Pro, a wide telephoto and ultra wide sensor with a LiDAR sensor, which is nice, where the iPhone 8 had a single wide angle lens. Now, with both these cameras, like I mentioned before, they are pretty decent. Definitely the iPhone 13 Pro is the far better camera here. You're going to be getting many more camera setups, 4K at 60 on the back of both of these, but 4K at 60 on the front of the 13 Pro. The iPhone 8 can only do 1080p on the front of this camera. So not only are you getting a better camera setup, but you're also getting portrait mode, you're getting cinematic mode as well, which is portrait mode for video, which is very beautiful, and you're just getting a much better camera on the iPhone 13 Pro. I think I've already done a camera comparison between these two. I don't know which one will, I definitely the 13 Pro one, but when it comes down to it, you're definitely getting a much better camera setup on the iPhone 13 Pro, and it's really not even close. I think the iPhone 8 is still good enough for the most part. It'll get you from point A to point B, but the iPhone 13 Pro definitely wins in terms of the camera department. So in terms of that pretty much covers it up here. And to be completely honest, like I mentioned before, the iPhone 13 Pro is definitely the far better iPhone when it comes down to it. Not only does it look so much better, it performs much better, the cameras are better, the battery life is better. It's just a much better phone in every single dimension. There really isn't a single area where the iPhone 8 wins, unless it's like the price per value per dollar. But even then, the iPhone 8, even at like $200 something, it is a much better idea to go even to something like an iPhone 11 Pro than to get an iPhone 8. I think the 13 Pro is a humongous upgrade from the iPhone 8. Like it's just a completely different world between these two. Much better cameras, much better battery life, just everything across the board is so much better on the iPhone 13 Pro. Now, the iPhone 8, I think, still has a little bit of capability, but again, it's nothing super insane. Like, you're getting a cheaper phone. There's nothing like super crazy that the iPhone 13 Pro doesn't have, that this phone doesn't have. Usually some older phone has like some good characteristic, but with the iPhone 8, it's not really there in my opinion. So in terms of that covers it up here. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. More importantly, everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.